CASP15 inverse power to the whatever prediction of disorder regions performance. Performance details is all organization. The problem isn't here. I think last time was 4 years ago. Sometime. So the way it divides intelligence is like different from CAST and from beyond. So the problem here is to predict what are these other regions on a British predicate British sequence. And actually Bobby has a method to provide it sort of score. So either a score or validity some of both to re-evaluate the situation. Actually we solve the tools post accelerator alignment, so they use it for delivering information. And we also have some values for, for instance, we evaluate both subset of regions with circle response solidity for the spiders and the other molecules, or the subset which are linkers, so the digits that connect running to structure. I said that this is slightly different compared to CASP because we don't just evaluate the revisions, but we also evaluate the software. So the participant submits a piece of software. We install the software in our server, and then we generate evaluations ourselves. So in this way, we not just evaluate or only evaluate a prediction, but we also provide some evaluation on the software technical part. Published last year, the result of the first round, now we published in September. So I said that the participants submit a piece of software, but of course, to make our life easier, we decided to build some containers. So for each submission, build a different separate container. And then we substitute those containers on our custom. And thanks to his approach, support this was so the huge work. Thanks for anticipation. But this, we hope, well, they didn't deny. Purple, the Sultan Court. At the end, we are able to evaluate, for instance, the resolution time, the size of this container, and this in some log of the even size of this container. So, only a fraction as a size less than half the bytes, and there is view and the largest data 11 gigabytes. So in total, we built 44 containers. They generate 71 outputs, and 4 generate disorder predictions and 31 pilot predictions. 22 of these methods are new. They were tested in Cake 1, and 18 already existed as web servers. So this is an example of different are these methods in terms of execution time. So you've seen that they're different in terms of size. They're also very different in terms of build time. So there are just a few of them that takes less than 1 second to really is religious. And there's some that takes more, but that means to predict the SOC list. Here you see that immediately because these statistics we built one container for also for those methods which contains both the prepare fast and slow software. So this is a nominal estimate of the actual speed of that. Also here we include the time needed to generate the additional ebook when they use evolutionary information. And but we didn't include the time this let's say the image and so. Okay, so how we define the output? So how we define disorder? Actually, disorder in definition of disorder we decided to use comes from the WISPOT database. WISPOT is a community effort. We have a number of literature prep and more that collects certain annotations from literature. And every annotation is information, and these other annotations are redundant. So for the same position, the stated users you can collect and accumulate multiple evidence coming from different experiments, and here is a great source of evidence, severity degrees, and so on. And you see here the statistics. So the most abundant technique used to define this disorder state with a stable bit severity degrees. But there's a large number of knowledge about these organisms that comes just from author statements. So some families are well known to be disordered with some factors difficult to access people, which was the reason as well. A fraction of the evidence comes from X-ray recent views, of course, but in the case of recent views, curators, etc., but this is partially mentioned in the paper, so it's not just automatically pulled from the VDB, but this is verified that the author, who saw the statue is actually aware of the incidents and so on. This is the size of the benchmark. So you see this on camera protease. So the it is the largest and the others and the subset. As expected, most of the protein comes from eukaryotes. So you have as likely even distribution for time because that see that eukaryotes are mainly measured represented here. And notably, a number of the proteins, almost all the proteins actually are also mapping to an existing baby structure. So this is something part of this relation you can use. What regards the sequence similarity, we compare the current benchmark with the previous or public entries we have in this problem. This is the first row, we love current developed diamonds. And also we compare with the settlers. So actually what we didn't give the overlap with existing entries and with the previous cycle is actually the line is lined at the side. So it means also this is the statistic on the whole sequence. Well, okay, so this is how we define the affinity. So in the simple situation, you can just take all the annotation you have for a single protein, you can merge them, and this is our simplest definition. So disorder, the merge of the region are think positives, is positives plus, and the rest is negative. We decided to drive also the moving all information, all annotation comes from X-ray that uses so you have immersion in which positives silence without X-ray annotations. And you can also use and exploit the informations. For instance, if for the protein you have some residues which have been observed in PDB, you can decide that these are the negatives. So here you have an example protein where negatives are the revealed certain residues. The positives are the same for the simplest case. And here you have some uses of the beginning and the end in this example that are just exclude. Of course, you can do the quantity then hypothesize that these beings also are also resolved. So this is the opposite what you're assuming about the other situation. For what classified when you look at that ministry, you can do and assume that in positives are just a binary and the rest is negative. And you can establish different things, say that the positive are also here the binary regions, but the negatives are the making of the disordered regions. So in this case, again, you have some positions which are this. If you look at the distribution of these classes in the data set, you see that the positives for the simplest definition just cover about 15% of the SB. So it's largely imbalanced towards negatives or that become negative assignments. For the, if you exclude the X-ray annotations, actually you see that that's the CASP15 bias. But simply because you are moving a number of proteins where you have just tiny regions of very small regions, so you're moving those proteins and the myelin are proteins which are more balanced where the organisms are found. For the disordered image, we define the negatives using a real certain position. You see the dot set becomes more like bias. And the positives are identical to the simplest definition. And you see also the extreme case for the disordered field. And today you will see that it's not just for the disordered knots and for buying the legal business. Here is that you see the distribution of the content of the divisible routing. And firstly, for disorder, here you see for mining. Mining is similar, so it's high imbalance, and because more balance when you limit the surge and the opposite inside the upper regions. And you see the mining in the nucleic acid about even broad big state. And it's here for the linker, so the linker is also very difficult. Okay, so the assessment. Since we unset predictions, which provides a confidence for validations to be positive class, we actually optimize these thresholds of the benchmark, and we optimize selecting the F1s for as the mapping. And we provide an evaluation both of the data set and data, so we can all the sequence all together, as in the civil and model sequence. And we got also covering the F1 of the protein level and then out of the solid probably and better how to set. We have a couple of baselines. You have unknown and shuffle down the set. Shuffle data set means that you assert the classic balance of balance and the go-to manipulation is since AlphaFold becomes available and you develop, we decided also to use AlphaFold as a proxy for predicting disorder. And we devised three different ways where you can exploit AlphaFold predictions. The first is simply to use the ability score, and we call it AlphaFold disorder. So you have 1 minus the ability. So it's actually how done the output of AlphaFold. You then exploit the fact that you have a structure, so you behave with solid exposure. So those residues which are accessible to solvent are likely to not form complex to the rest of the protein, so they are likely to be disordered. So here we have done is the speed as the structures, and it just extract the solid accessibility that in this would a little bit destroyed. And that you can also exploit these two features to referable by it is. And so those are users which are set by accessible to the solvent and set by the data sound level of high confidence in getting this form are probably likely to be by this side. So here you have an example these two entities here are that at the same time is it's supposed to solve it and I have to lie it from getting this score. Okay, this first example, this is the ideal situation. This is very easy. So you see the average F mass of prostomechanism is 0.196. It's a provisory protein. You see here the allocation in this prop, and you see here that this proposal says that this results here is by name, and the sequels will be in 3 observer positions. The BBU circuit position corresponds to this addition. This is the AlphaFold structure. And you see here the average across is on the breathing first, the average across line of breathing first, and the AlphaFold is on the kernel. So the opposite of the behind is score. Here you see also the threshold that optimizes is optimization. So this is the super mechanism. All the breathing first works very well. And instead, this is a very complicated case. First of all, the implementation is an open so the server is just defined here. So these are said as booster is also permission called the pine by its own. And you have information about the server position. So the server position could start into two sculptures that progress up with the coordinates for these regions here. The last is pretty much disordered. And there is this other domain here, which is predicted as culture by other methods. The problem is the beginning, you have something, these addresses which are predicted. The AlphaFold and the method is predicting pretty much the same thing. But then we need this domain here, AlphaFold, enough code is predicted, we need a very low geometry score. So this is predicted being disordered. And on the contrary, you have a postal the very frustrated list as public order. So this is kind of a complicated situation. This is a lot of interesting example. So you see here a Gothic folk relief showing. And you see here that PDB is actually on a sample, and in this case, annotated as political domain. In this case, the first predict this is order, and after predict this is part of some part positions here and there. Okay, these are the results. So here you see this is the X score. Here you have the maximum X score. Actually, what the data set level and packet level for the simplest definition where you remove the extra evidences, and then well, this is not that bad. I mean, the best amount of the sport is over actually it's about 6% value of pleasure. And you see alcohol, actually the solid accessibility version that is of the top balance also second here in this tradition. It's difficult to see from that what is the interpretation of the SR is more clear when you look the position of course. And so actually there are a few methods which reach and have very high precision up lower the goal, but the F mod says beats it at the night end of the unicorn, so indicating that at the second point they start to overbreeding disorder, so which cannot be a bad thing because this broke. I mean, there is a lot of missing annotations there, there is a lot of misinterpretation. This neat evaluation for combining categories so we see the F score is much lower. And again, you see article which is in the thought category as a sort of partly the combining the initial space on account and sort of accessibility that the NLP is also working and in this way. But if you look at these scores, actually there's just a few methods which have high precision with high decision on certain point don't we recall image. And specifically you see alcohol is pretty much on say different than precision and these enhancement methods were on it like yet. For the HACCP, this version is similar for the mining, but here notably when you evaluate the average over the targets, you see that methods with DNA or adenine in the name, so specifically in design where we start both problem are actually probably not here in a couple positions. And here you see also for the precision of the chord chords, there are some methods that which are actually organizing the spectrum being design methods and that's a relative minor problem. The bottom here is that data set is actually the okay, so the last category is the linker to see here in example. So the linker for this protein is defined is rejected, and you see this is related as because ordered by all the methods and also by alcohol. And then this is a simple case. The only problem is that the middle type predictors are just a couple of predictors which are the style of the linkers. But actually, to me it is difficult to see what is the linker. If I see the linker and look for it, there are many examples it is where linkers are just very small pieces. And here you have a difficult example, so and here you have the alpha predictions, and you have a useful here in start in of the year. And you see that is actually predicted well by everyone, but there is also test of the protein that is spreading as these are, so actually it is spreading those as they are trained ready to slaughter inside. And you see here the results, so there isn't any method specifically separately which closing to the positions. And you see here the decision quotes. I think of other slides, I will just that you will have nurses, Silvia, and Alexson. and it will also advise about the entities and also a lesson and other build and the containers and was so many use for
It was just for Glen Allen.